the nice wizard. Okay, hello everyone. We love to see those numbers going up. It's always so great. As you come in, as always, tell us where you're hailing from. And I have a very fun poll that I'm going to do with you right now.
Hi,
So,
Esther.
always, honestly, Queen, one of the first people in here, always.
Oh, now it's too fast for me to catch all of you. I see Shari.
I love it.
Whoa, that was so fast. Stephanie, Nell. Oh, that's a pretty name.
Uh,
Ooh, goes into the name files in the heat.
okay, can you see it, Nalini?
Yeah, it's just loading.
Okay, perfect. As you come in, I want everybody to answer this question. Okay.
Ooh.
I know. Oh, okay, I guess you should answer it too, but uh love to see everybody from all over, and also feel free to answer the question. Just one, Esther. Just one. Just one. Ooh, prequel. Okay. Love to hear it. I love how I
Number
just put
4.
things I want and I'm like, am I a bully? Maybe. Maybe I am.
Well, you're all in control. This is your, you can do your evil villain laugh where it's like,
Okay, so many. Number 4. This is, I kind of
mm.
knew it was going to happen. And nobody wants number 5? Okay, we do have one. Shari. Okay, good. 3, but really all of the above. I know. Oh, the arrows. Okay, okay.
You're trying to sway the vote here, Destinee, I feel like.
Guilty.
Oh, yeah,
Guilty
see,
as
library
charged.
addiction's right. Caleb wouldn't talk, so that's just a waste.
Well, we've got him on some truth serum, and no matter his status, they don't really decide, don't really do well with, drugs. So I feel like we might get what we want. I we love Daddy Krychek.
I still have my t-shirt.
Oh yeah. You know what? Honestly, I feel like you should just wear it
I
anytime.
should have just worn it, but then, this is not about him.
It really
Today's not
isn't. It
about
really isn't. But I kind of feel like you are the Daddy Karaichak of our universe in this conversation, so it would have been fine. Um, I am, you know what? Next time I'm gonna make this like an actual poll because I'm very curious, but I feel like number 4 is winning totally.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. From the answers I've seen, it's number 4.
Yeah, yeah. People want to know what's going on with Nikita and Anthony. And by people, I mean all of us. Like, what are they doing? Okay, always reverts back to Krychek in my mind. I see that. I see that. Um, we did have a few Wild Women magazine, like an entire magazine. Okay, this is really fun, guys. Thank you for playing along. And welcome. Oh, we have somebody from Arizona. Hello. I feel like this is your time to shine.
That's right. But don't tell me if I got something wrong, because I will be really sad.
Oh, okay. Okay, yes. Keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. We're just blindly agreeing. Ah, this was a lot of fun, guys. Okay. I think we've got most of the folks that are making their way in here. I just wanted to do a fun little quiz to start us off. But hello, everybody, and welcome. Oh, got Louisville. Hello, Kentucky folks. Glad to see you. Um, it's always a pleasure to welcome you to these conversations because I, like you all, are obsessed with the Side Changeling series. But before we get to it, I just want to say hello again. I'm Destinee. I work at City Bookshop. And oh my gosh, I'm your favorite interviewer. Oh, oh my gosh, that is the kindest thing. Thank you so much, Melinda. Um, And we are always so pleased to have Nalini with us. So thank you, Nalini, and thank Berkeley for always trusting us with your events. Everyone who hasn't yet acquired or pre-ordered, rather, your copy of Atonement Sky. Oh my gosh, photo moment if I don't disappear. You can do so through City Bookshop. We still have a few book plates. I think we're holding on. We're holding on strong. I think we're still holding on there. So if you want a book plate for your book, you can do that there. I am assuming all of you here. Oh my gosh, we have a poll, guys. Emma, she's in the background. That is my colleague. Emma. Wow.
I love it. I love it.
I am totally geeking out. And we were right. And we were right. Oh, but it's kind of going. Oh, no, it's not. No. Ooh, watching these numbers, I'm so distracted. Okay, let's go back to the task at hand. I think yeah, okay, I'm assuming all of you guys already follow Nalini on Instagram, but if you don't, make sure you do. And follow East City Bookshop as well. And I think that's it. I always feel a little awkward just reading your bio, but I feel like no matter what, I'm going to do it because you deserve it. You have a new book out. So, New York Times bestselling author Nalini Singh is a passionate about writing, and aren't we glad of it? Though she's traveled as far afield as the deserts of China and the temples of Japan. I love reading this every single time. And the frozen landscapes of Antarctica. It is the journey of the imagination and the heart, I'll add, that fascinates her most. She's beyond delighted to be able to follow her dream as a writer and to bring to us Atonement Sky. Huge round of applause for Nalini. Yay.
Oh, thank you.
A pleasure. Okay, so obviously I try to make these conversations as non-spoilery as possible, especially in this case. I feel like it's kind of important to keep certain things under wraps.
Yes.
But I always like to start off by asking you, with such a wildly popular series and of such a voluminous series, what does the Atonement Sky edition mean to you?
Ooh, so I'm gonna try and answer it without spoiling things. But basically, the second arc of Trinity has been about a lot of threads coming together. And I think in this book, there's a big moment of change. So it's important for plot reasons, for that. But it's also important because I'm still so excited to write these books. I'm still so excited to meet these characters. And I think that's the most important thing in the end, because if I'm not excited, then I don't feel readers will be excited. I have to be the first fan in a way. I have to be the one who's so in love with these people that they kind of get away from me and do all kinds of crazy things. And that happened in this book also. So yeah, I think the joy I get from writing the series is a good indicator of just that it's still has a series that has something to say. Like, I'm still excited to explore things, discover new characters, and yeah.
Oh, you know, we are very glad to hear that. I'm just going to say that anybody who was here for Archangel's Gate knows that we are very glad to hear that you see, you know, a continued future here for this series. I do want to remind everybody, if you have questions for Nalini, pop them in the Q&A. I'll be looking at it throughout the conversation. And if you just want to comment, you could put that in the chat. So just want to make that differentiation. Okay, so before we continue, I would like to know, if you could give people pre-reading in the Psy-Changeling universe for this book, what 3 books would you say? I already have my thoughts, but I would love to hear the master's thoughts.
Okay, if I had to give like your homework books, well, you would have to read Bonds of Justice. I would say that's quite a good one to read. The other one is Branded by Fire. And the third one is interesting. Let me see what I would do for the third one. I think the third one is kind of a wild card because I feel like those two cover the main characters. And I don't know. What's your three? Tell me, and I'll
So
see if I agree.
I said Branded by Fire, have to,
Yeah.
you must. I said also Bonds of Justice, and I also said as my third Ocean Light.
Oh yeah, I see it. Yes, I would agree. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. It's all about those threads again, isn't it? About those threads coming together. Yes.
It is, and I feel like that I feel like Bowen and yeah, his whole thing, I feel like that is very particularly connected. So that would be our advice. You have it here, people. So if you're someone like me who likes to just kind of like, oh yeah, okay, we first saw Adam here. Okay, speaking of that, kind of getting more specifically into Atonement Sky, I am curious. Adam made his first appearance in Branded by Fire, which was a long time ago. So did you at that moment have quite as much backstory for Adam and Windhaven as we discovered in this book? Or is that something that happens along the way? Or in starting to write this book, did you say, all right, I need to think of everything?
So I knew about the canyon. I knew sort of where they came from, and I knew the basic background. But at that stage, he was like, go to a party, there's a guy. You're like, oh, he's interesting, but you just know bits and pieces, and you haven't dug deep. And so it was like that. And I did discover more as I'm writing the series, even though I might not have referenced Windhaven or the canyon in particular. I was still like, the world was building in the back of my mind. So I had a lot of knowledge by the time I came to write this book, but then I had to go even deeper. I had to build those familial, the background. No, what's the, oh my God, I've lost the word. It's the family tree, the family tree. Like I had to do all the work. So you'd have the specifics and the dates and all that kind of thing. So yeah, but Adam, from the start, he felt like a very strong character in my head, and I kept trying to go back to him multiple times, trying to write his book before this one, and it just didn't work. Like, it wasn't right. It wasn't the right person. And then I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna leave it for a while. And then as soon as I met Ellery and I started this book, I was like, oh, so this is why I had to wait. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that. And I think it's a good pivot also into something that I said to you before, but I will say to everybody here, which is that I was very surprised by the emotionality of this book to me. Like, you have all of the losses that Adam has, gone through, and Ellery, and, you have this killer on the loose. You got like all of these things going on. And I wonder if it was emotional for you to write, because it certainly felt emotional to read.
Yes, absolutely. It's quite a dark book in that sense. And it was hard. Like, I think as an author, I love my characters, right? I don't want bad things to happen to them, but that's their story, and I have to honor that, and I have to put it down on the page. But that doesn't mean I don't cry. Quite often I'll be crying, and I'll be like, oh, this is so terrible, so sad. But and then there are the sunrises as well. The moments the moments where things shift and there is light in the darkness, and so I have to think about that. But definitely, it's a super emotional book to write for many reasons, and yeah, I hope it makes you all cry too.
Yes, you will be devastated. And then you throw in lines like Larry saying to herself, "The memory of emotion was enough," and I'm like, oh gosh, Nalini, why are you doing this to me? Oh my gosh! And then you had Jacques. Okay, when you all read the book,
poor Jacques.
I know, Jacques. when you read the book and then you come back here, you will commiserate with us to the degree that we are having this right now. Okay, so I feel like every book in the Trinity series, you kind of touched on this like a moment ago, but there's something, or I guess a way that a bill is coming due, essentially, right?
Yeah.
Like, let me plug in my laptop. Gotta plug her in. I feel like, for example, in Resonance Surge, the rehabilitation centers, like in Last Guard, the bill is we haven't been paying attention to the anchors, and now look at where we are. So, what for our audience would you say is the bill that is coming due in Atonement Sky?
Ooh, that's interesting. I mean, you could take the linear approach and say it's the Jays. How badly they're fragmented, and if you've read Bonds of Justice, the situation is so much worse. But I think it's more than that. I think it's the bill of all these people who are just working in the background, just maintaining the society, and now piece by piece, it's they're on the brink of collapse, right? So that's like it's shining a spotlight on areas of the world that maybe we don't think about on the regular, because they just do their jobs and get on with it, and suddenly what happens with all those people suddenly can't get along with it. There's this entire support structure under everything, and that's slowly crumbling. Yeah, so it's a really big bill this time. It's significant.
Yeah, maybe that's also the emotion you feel about it, because if you've been a long-term reader of the series, like you, you feel the weight of all of this, I think.
Yeah.
More acutely. You're like, oh, I get why all of this matters, not only at this moment, but to all of these people. So totally agree. I'm popping in here in the Q&A to see if there are any questions I can throw in there. So Shari, I'm not sure. Hope I got it right. Asked, do you work with other authors to run ideas by them, or are you a more of an individual writer?
Yeah, I'm pretty individual, like, because I think particularly because this is such a huge series, and I know it so well, and they've lived in my head for so long, and quite often I know who I'm going to write about, like multiple books in advance. The one person I bounce ideas off with a lot is Ashwini. So for those who don't know, she's my sister, and my assistant, and basically I'm just like, what do you think about this, and what do you think about that, and sometimes she'll say, well, you did this in this book and you never answered this question. So it's a really I do enjoy that. Like, we go for these walks and I just harangue her so she doesn't get a relaxing walk at all. It's just it's just me.
Basically, we're saying she's the chosen one. That's what all of us are hearing. Okay.
Yeah. So I do it with her a lot, but otherwise I'm pretty once I start writing, it's pretty internal. Like, I go into my head and just go tell myself the story. I tell myself the story first, and nobody ever gets to read that first draft, because it's you wouldn't want to read that first draft. It's not like a book. It's more me figuring out the story, and it's like some scenes will be fully written out and as they are in the book, and other scenes will be like stuff happens here, this stuff happens, because I'm very hyper at that point. Like, I really want to tell the story as fast as, because I just want to I want to know what's going to happen. So yeah, it's all over the place, and sometimes I write the ending before the beginning, and it's like a bit of a jigsaw puzzle. Yeah.
So basically, Ashwini is the keeper of all
all the knowledge. Yeah.
All right, everyone, check and check. Another interesting question I see here is, will we get another book with someone from the Forgotten, or will the Forgotten come back up, or are they forgotten? I had to. I'm corny. Tomato, tomato. I know, guys, but yes, I had to.
I haven't forgotten the Forgotten. I would like to go back to them. But I think as this book will probably make a little bit clearer, the books are in an order of what we're building up to in this season of the series. So it just depends if they are a connecting link in that. I don't want to spoil things, so I'm just like,
yeah, I know.
I'll just leave it like that. So yeah, no, I haven't forgotten them. I think about them a lot because I think they're a very interesting subset of the society. But at the same time, they actually don't want to be super visible, right? So the fact that they sort of fly under the radar is good. But there is a reference to them in Atonement Sky, so that's my evidence that I have not actually forgotten the forgotten.
Guys, we are never not saying that. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. It's like when I teach workshops about long series where I feel like people didn't think ahead enough. And I always use the example of Lost because it's just so good.
Lost,
like,
they got lost.
I love that series, but yeah. Yeah.
I was lost. They were lost. We were all lost.
We were all lost, you know.
Very true. Very true. Okay. Well, we trust you with that, and I did know the answer to that question, but I was gonna let you do that. I did want to know. Well, let me backtrack. I would say, to me, the best Nalini is the murdery Nalini. Not you actually committing the murders, but your characters and like that being a central element of the story, driving it along. That's my personal favorite version of Nalini. And I think it harkens back to the earliest days, with Slave to Sensation. It's the fact that, okay, we've got this killer on the loose. We also don't know who it is, right? It's not like Alexia Memory where we know who it is. We just can't find him. Where is Renault? We don't know where this guy is. We don't know who it is.
Yeah.
So I was wondering why you circled back to the murdery Nalini for this book.
It felt very logical with who Ellery is, being a justice eye, and what she does in her job. And it's weird. The pieces came together, and I think it was also the landscape. And it just felt right that in this very beautiful, but very also stark landscape, it just in my head, I could just see, the contrast of these horrible things happening, and in this incredibly stunning landscape, as we can see behind you, and in a relatively isolated environment. But yeah, the key point is Ellery, because she is, that's her job. That's what she does. And I quite like to see people doing their jobs in the books as well. I feel like it's there's a lot of energy to that. There's a lot of interest to that, to see what the day-to-day work of these people are. Not that this is a day-to-day environment in this particular book, but yeah.
Sure. Yeah, like
it is a horrible job. Yeah.
It is really bad, guys. The Jays, we love them, but man, it's so rough for them. Okay.
It is.
Another question from Esther. Will there be a Psy human pairing soon? And I'm just gonna say Esther has been asking this question.
Yes.
That is, I see the question. I'm gonna ask, did Esther ask this question? Because I know that is what Esther wants to see. So will we make Esther happy at any point?
Yes.
Yes. Look at that. Oh my gosh, I'm channeling my best Allie now. Okay, so speaking of setting, can you talk a little bit about your research with this? People, I keep pointing to this because this is when I went to Arizona, to Antelope Canyon, and I thought it was the most beautiful thing. And then I pick up Atonement Sky, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we are here. So can you tell us about your research / experience in creating this very, very setting as place situation in this book?
So as I said, when we first meet Adam in Branded by Fire, I already mentioned the canyon, so I already knew it was Arizona, right? And I had been to Arizona, and it just struck me as it's such the redness of it, the colors of sunset in the landscape, and just I don't know, it's a very beautiful, stark, different kind of landscape. And at the time I was like, how can I put this in the books? Because I was writing wolves and leopards, and they needed forests, like heavy forests and things like that. And I was like, no, I just tucked it away, and just remained fascinated by it. And then when I met Adam, I knew, oh, of course, it's so it's the falcons live there. And I just love the idea of them soaring across that landscape. And like we were talking before this started, like flying through those canyons, because that's such a beautiful image and so natural to think of them doing that. And so I had my own memories of being there, my own knowledge, but then I did a lot of research to make sure I got it right. And there's a town that I used as my reference point for my research. So I did in creating Raintree, and but then I tweaked it a little bit because of the needs of the story. But a lot of it is based on basically a town that's near the Colorado River, and the effect it has on the environment and what's around it. And also it was a case of looking at it needed to be a bit isolated, so I had to look on maps to see, well, what in our current world is a sort of isolated or semi-isolated location, and that could be difficult to get to, not many roads in and out, and but hey, great for people who can fly. So so there was a lot of research, and I think now it's much easier to do that research than it was when I first began, because so much stuff is online. Like I literally can go just on Instagram and see people's pictures that live in Arizona. It's very sort of on the ground material, and I tend to use a lot of images when I research because I want to be able to describe things correctly. So I'll go and watch videos and documentaries and just immerse myself in the world, so that a lot of it, probably of all the stuff I research, maybe 5% ends up in the book, but that means it's the best 5% kind of thing. Like I've cut away all the stuff where I've described a canyon for like 3 pages, because you guys don't need me to describe a canyon for 3 pages. I remember talking a bit about this when I was writing Slave to Sensation. I did this whole research thing on glacial boulders, those massive boulders that are in like Yosemite National Park, and how they were carried there by glaciers and stuff and then left behind, and I was so fascinated by that. But like it's like literally one line in the book, like, and I spent like hours on this.
So what you're saying is even you are susceptible to a Wikipedia rabbit hole. It's good to know.
All the rabbit holes. I mean, Wikipedia is just the start, Destinee. Just the start.
The gateway. Yeah, I mean, you know what? But sometimes I think, as a reader and as, a lifelong passionate reader, I think all of those hours are required to get the good 2 lines. Sometimes.
Yes, I think so. Because you need to have that depth of knowledge behind you, so you can, I know for me, so I can pick out the things that are relevant for the story to put in there, For if I didn't have all that crazy research where I just sit there just going from link to link and looking at pictures and watching documentaries and whatever I'm doing, I would feel like it's shallow without the depth of the little things that just get dropped in. And I don't notice it until right at the end, maybe when I'm reading the final proof or something. I'm like, oh yeah, it's actually increasing the depth of this world, even though it's just this tiny throwaway line, but it's very much a reality line. Like this makes it feel like the place.
Yeah. Like you've been immersed, so then you can do the immersing.
Yes, absolutely.
It makes sense. I am curious, kind of along this research thread, about how you did that in relationship to the indigenous peoples there with the Dene, or as most people will know them as Navajo. Yeah, how did that work?
Oh my God, I did so much research because I did not want to get it wrong. Like I did not, I was
had
like
language in there, and I was like, oh. Okay, Nalini. First it's
it
Russian.
was
I'm like, this lady's a polyglot. What is going on?
so basically, obviously where I am in New Zealand, it's hard for me to just maybe walk into some kind of like a education center or something and actually talk to someone. So I have to do it all online to figure this out. And I always try and lean into materials that are firsthand. So from the indigenous people themselves, you know. So and basically that was the backbone of all the research into this. It was not secondary materials. It was all primary materials. So people talking about their experiences. I listened to a lot of videos of Dene elders on YouTube talking about their customs, and there's a note at the back of the book, like most of the language came from videos that where they were explaining the language, but at the same time, I mean, it is an incredibly difficult language.
Yeah.
So that's why you just get a sprinkling, because I'm like, there's a reason it was used as a code in the wars, you know?
Right. That's such a good point. Such a good point. Like people could not figure it out.
Yeah. But at the same time, I wanted a bit of it in there because, you know, like it makes it, again, it's about depth. Like this language is a living language, and so it would be very much a part of you know, the Windhaven clan and all the people who inhabit it. So yeah, hopefully, you know, I just have everything crossed that I got it right. I did my very best. And I think if there's any other writers watching this, I mean, honestly, just always go for the primary materials. Sometimes it requires a bit of digging because they might not come up as the first hit. You have to dig and dig to find the people who are talking about their lived experiences. It's even better if I can find a book or where someone has written their lived experiences, or I can find like a documentary where, you know, where it's from their point of view, whichever culture I'm researching. So yeah, primary as far as you can. And I mean, if you know someone from that culture, that is the best. That is the best. then you can just be like, can I just ask you all these questions?
And I assume I feel like most people, you know, when you have an opportunity to talk about your culture, it's a thing of excitement.
Yes.
So
yeah, I think, and also when the questions come from a place of genuinely wanting to know, like again, I went down this massive rabbit hole. Like I know so much knowledge, you know? It's like I just and I'm still learning because it's a very old, very fascinating culture, and it's just there's so much you can dive into, and you know, for this book, obviously, just like I do with all my books, because it's an alternate Earth, I tweak slightly to fit the character. So in this case, we have like the winged changelings.
yes.
But how the tweaks are very subtle, just to take into account these are people who can fly. So there's just little elements, but that can only happen if I've done enough research that I feel like if the Destinee could fly, that this might have been what they would say, you know. I'm trying not to. There's a very sad scene where there's a farewell.
Exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know exactly, because that was another moment where I was like, she is actively seeking to destroy me. Yes. Yes. Is it the eulogy?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I knew it. I was just like, I cannot, please release me. I will say in the comments I saw, because I was just about to say this, because I did listen to it. I literally have in my Libro app a side changeling playlist, and usually they'll give booksellers advanced audiobook copies.
Oh, okay.
And it is, when I tell you, in all the years I've been a bookseller, it is never your book ever. But this time it was, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. Yay! I can re-listen to it before the discussion. And in talking about the language and all of the potential challenges there, I was like, what is our girl Angela Daw gonna do? But it sounded natural. So everybody mentioning that in the chat, I was impressed as usual.
Oh, and yay!
You did a great job. We'll send some flowers her way. But yeah, I want to hop into the questions here, because I know there have been quite a few popping up. One that has a lot of upvotes, and I will not be stoned by the people by not asking this. Will we see more Black Sea? More Black Sea changelings?
Black Sea, yes, yes. There is one book in my mental folder of books I need to write. So there's obviously an open thread that was left in Ocean Light that needs to be closed. But more than that, there's this particular book I need to write. So yes. And I think it should be in this season. Like, I think before the end of the season of the series, we will, yes.
Do we have any concept of how long this season will last?
I'm not sure. I never quite know how long a story is going to take to tell, and I don't like to artificially stretch things because I'm like, that's you know what. But at the same time, the nerd in me likes the sort of what's the word, having it match.
Oh, the symmetry.
Symmetry, yes. So the 15 and 15 would be such a nice match, and I was like, oh, that would be good. But
yes,
that would be great. But again, I'm going
and we would love 6 more Changeling Trinity books.
So as long as the story works to go to 15, that's where I would aim. But if I, for example, if I say I get to 12 and it's like the season is done, then it's done, you know, and then we have the lopsided asymmetrical story.
Fair. Okay, smash the heart button if you want 15. Also, if you want to know what Malachi's animal is, I need to know. Come on. Okay, other question was, do you ever envision writing stories for like the next generation? So Keenan, twins, Naya, etc.
No, for the simple reason that when you jump time, you're gonna have to lose some people, or you're gonna, and I have done it in the Guild Hunter series, right? There's time jumps in that series, and it is very emotional. It's a very emotionally wrenching decision. It works in that series because we're, it's immortals, right? A lot of them are immortals, but you're still losing mortal people that you know, and my heart breaks. Yes. And I think with the Changeling series, it's just definitely set up in a different way, which is if you lose people in this series, it will hit even harder, I feel like, because all the stories have been about mortals, right? Like none of them are immortals. Like, so depending on the extent of the jump, it's either you lose people or you see people at a different stage in their lives, which can work. And I've seen some authors do it really well, but it's a big decision to make because once you make that jump, you can't come back and write stories. Oh, actually, I would have liked to write because now we're like 40 years later. But committed to that. So at this point, and also in this timeline, not that much time has passed, right? Like I think we started at 2079 and we're at 2083, I think still. Yeah. Is it 84? I need to double check this book, but it's a very short period of time. Yeah. So even though you've been reading the books for almost 20 years, the book world is not, because I sold Slave to Sensation in 2005. So 2026 will be the 20th anniversary.
Oh my gosh. 20th anniversary special edition. Somebody's asking. We need it.
So, so the book world is, and I mean, I feel completely justified because one of my favorite series is the J.D. Robb series, like In Depth. Oh, it's like 50 books, and I think only 2 years has passed in that. So come on, people.
That's so true. So basically, we have time. I love it. Every time you speak about this, we love it. We love it. I'm going to ask one more audience question before I get back to some of the things I had over here, which is from Rebecca. We haven't heard much about the psi powers of illusion and transmutation. Sasha has just enough to turn hair green, and Faith has a touch of illusion. I wonder what a cardinal could do. Will we see the powers emerge in the Trinity series to help the psi net heal?
Ooh, I don't know. Like in the back of my mind, I've always thought of those powers as like secondary powers. Like it's not something someone has as like their primary ability. But if they did, it would be very much a wild card. It would be like this massive wild card thrown into the system. So, and you know, I love me my wild cards. So who knows? Who knows? At this point, I mean, it's just glimpses on the edges.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think we may have just given, you know, Nalini some food for thought. So thank you, Rebecca.
Who knows?
Who knows? Okay, so something I really want to know is, well, we learn in Bonds of Justice about the JSI and kind of like how they're like, they have these sort of like killing for justice type moments. And it's sort of universally understood that, all right, we're pushing these people to the edge. We give them a little slack. So I'm curious who you think was less silent under silence, empaths or JSI?
Ooh, that's a really cool question. I think
Almost as if I'm obsessed with this series.
I actually think it was the Jays who were less silent because they're actively aware of what's going on. Like they're actively aware of being silenced and that all this terrible stuff is coming into them and they're aware of fighting it, right? To maintain their silence. Whereas with the empaths under silence, they'd been crushed so deep that they might know that they felt awful all the time, that they felt disconnected and flat. They didn't know why, whereas the Jays would have known the why of it. So I feel under silence, the Jays would have been the more likely to be actually not silent, actually under the surface, very thin veneer of silence, and then under it all is turmoil and turbulence. And whereas with the empaths, they're just completely buried. They just basically had a hammer come down on them and just smashed, you know? Really badly damaged and not able to even, they didn't know who they were even, whereas the Jays knew who they were.
Because they're the things that they could do were actually helpful to the council, as opposed to your central gift is emotion. You can't really do anything for me under this regime. You're not very helpful. I see that, wait, hold on. I think I missed it, did I? I saw a mention of Stephanie mentioned psychometrics. And I think it might be a situation of, child, there are 3 psychometrics. We don't even know. We don't even know what they that's my thought of how the council probably viewed it. But what do you think about that?
About psychometrics?
Yeah. In terms of silence, under silence.
And emotion and stuff. I think that's why they ended up they were pushed towards certain jobs where it was unlikely they would come into contact with things that were like recently emotional, right? Like if you're dating a 500-year-old sword, it might have things attached to it, but it's going to be very old. So I think this is why, you know, Tanique, when he helps find someone in one of the books, he's choosing to be in a live situation, which is a very different case than being inside a musty basement with very old things where it's very dull things coming through. So I think the council, I think also psychometrics are quite rare. So it wasn't enough of a big deal for them to really bother that much, you know?
As long as you said that in Primal Mirror, like, Auden was like, child, they didn't even think about me. We had to have our little listserv.
They didn't care. I love that listserv. Like, I love it so much.
We had to have a little online forum because they weren't even paying attention to us.
I love I love building worlds where you get a glimpse of the worlds within worlds that exist, which is true. We all have, like Wild Women magazine is a world within a world, right? Like it's an element of the world that just exists because it's normal to have a magazine that people read, you know? And I love doing that kind of fun stuff because I think it makes it more real. Like these people do exist. They have their little listserv and they swap their futon because somebody needs a futon and this one is fine. You can use this one. And, you know, it's just cool to do that kind of thing.
Absolutely. There are a lot of questions about other side changeling groups that we might, or changeling groups, sorry, in particular that we might see in the future. I am definitely in the corner of tigers, but curious what you think. And yeah, I'll start with that one from Kristen.
At the moment, I kind of have decided what the next book is going to be, and it's not a new type of changeling in there, so we'll leave that question for the moment. Again, it's a case of the storylines that connect for this arc of the series. And the tigers have also, some of these characters haunt me. And it's like, well, we've just been prowling in the background for a long time. But then I'm like, so were the falcons. So they got a book. So, so wait your turn.
That's cold.
Yeah. Just, yeah.
Basically, you all must wait.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Library Addict, I was gonna definitely address this, but why not? Any fun cameos that we can look forward to in this book? I think yes. Tell us.
Yes.
What
Shall I tell you? Yeah. So you will see some cameos from Dark River people, because they do have a, like they do have an agreement, for reasons. Who else has a good cameo? Let me think. What do you think, Destinee? Who else? I think that's the main one that comes into mind.
Main one. I mean, I feel like it's natural for Sophia to pop up.
Yes, that's true. Yes, Sophia is there. Yeah.
It's natural, so that might not come as a surprise to people.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of if there was anything that I was like, oh, wow, haven't seen you at all. I think I will say, I'm trying to be not spoilery, but I feel like getting a little bit of his perspective on the circumstances in Branded by Fire was interesting. So that's not really a cameo, but that was interesting to get his kind of like side of it, because obviously it wasn't about him. It was about Mercy and Riley. So that was interesting too. Maybe like a cameo of perspective.
Yes. And I also just saw an interesting comment. I'm sorry, I didn't catch who made it. It was they were talking about the fact that the healer is Naya, and then of course we have Naya as well in Dark River. So that's actually addressed in the book, and it's really adorable. And I think it's. I'll leave you to discover it. I won't spoil it for you, but yes, there are two Nayas spelled differently. And it's fun. It's fun. That little thing is fun.
Yes. I'm like, Destinee, this question. I mean, I'm still gonna throw it out there. You can, but I feel at the end of this book, there is a fundamental shift in trajectory. I feel like.
Yes.
But I guess I'll pivot and say I don't feel like we spent a lot of time on the signet in the way that we have in other books. I don't know if you feel like that's true. And if so, what was that like for you? Was that a different experience to not really be spending that much time either talking about the signet or in the signet?
I think it felt more like a return to some of the earlier books where we spent more time with the changeling group and really being immersed in that group. And not just the changeling group, but, Ellery, for all that she comes across as a loner at the start, is not actually a loner. There is a found family behind her. And so being able to just go deep into both of those, it just felt right for this book. The fact that she wasn't as connected to the signet or as invested in it made sense because of her situation. So it made sense that we were not in there as much. It's hard to talk without spoilers, right?
I know this one in particular. I'm like, oh, I try to, because if I hadn't read the book, I would be like, oh no, Destinee, we are not friends. But I agree. Also, Bram apologist here. Love me some Bram. I really do. I really do. That's all I'm
I
gonna
can't
say.
wait for you guys to meet Bram. I was not expecting that. Okay, that's all I will say for that. That's your little spoiler. Keep an eye open for this one. Yeah.
Bram went bam.
Yeah.
Guys, I am on a terrible roll today. I am on a terrible roll. One question that I saw come up was two things. One, would you ever consider doing a timeline for the Side Changeling series, or something, some type of, I guess, like additional ephemera in that lane? And then a lot of people have asked about Zuli and Alejandro, and I agree. So those are the last
Those
two
are the
I'll
two
just ask.
questions.
Mm-hmm.
I do have my own personal timeline, but it's not at the level that you would need to have to put online, because it would need to have a lot of stuff that's in my head, to be honest. And honestly, it comes down to time. Like, I have to make a choice. Do I write books or do I do the extra stuff? And I haven't even done like, I love doing the free short stories in the newsletter, and I'm like way behind. So don't worry, they will come. But it's just when I have to make a choice with writing a book, and or doing that stuff, I'll always choose to write the book. And so I think the ephemera would come when I have a bit more space in the schedule, maybe, or towards the end of the series. So maybe be careful what you wish for.
Envisioned it as like, I pick up one of these books one time and I open it and it's like, you know how you would see stuff at the front of like either a family tree or whatever. That's kind of how I would think of it. Although, you know, I'm over here keeping track, and I know y'all are. I know y'all are too. So it's fine.
Yeah. I think I guess I was thinking more in detail. Like, if you wanted a more detailed kind of timeline, it would, because what I do when I write is I have an overall series timeline, because I need to know the progression of things. But I also have a specific timeline for every book. So I know when it's night, I know when it's day, I know when it's different time zones. And so there's like a massive amount of material built up over all these years of. So like, when I go back, like if I refer a moment in another book, I can actually refer to it very specifically if I need to, like, this happened 2 months and 3 days and 15 hours ago. You know, I could literally write that because I am that person who does this thing. So yeah, so that's a lot of material for me to get through. I think it's a case of when you have so much, it's like the idea of condensing it down is hard. Yeah, and okay, so like Zuli and Alejandro, oh my gosh, I love those two. I love
them.
my babies. You will see them again. I'm not sure whether it will be another free short story, or if I need to actually knuckle down and write a novella or something. But yeah, it's now in this weird place. Like, if I wrote it into a book, the short stories are already out there, so it'd be like, it's like it's a weird place now. So let me ponder. Yeah, let me ponder this. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, hearing that you're open to it is a bomb. And that's all I really need. I don't know about y'all, but hearing that you're like, oh yeah. I mean, I think we all just want to see them definitely together. That's just it. Like, we don't, it's the ellipses for us right now is really, really a struggle. We want to know that Alejandro, you know, has his person, other than Zyro, who is a good person to have on your side. Like,
yeah, she will kill anybody who hurts you. So she's excellent.
Exactly, but she can't play the violin for him, and so, you know, I feel like that's where it's really coming from. Okay, I think we have time for maybe 2 more questions from out of here. I'm trying to do as many, like a variety of ideas, but no. Okay, a lot of likes on this one. We got a few mentions of snake changelings. Any thoughts of ever continuing that thread?
Well, they exist. I'm not sure how many people would like a book about a snake changelings. I mean,
we need another poll, Emma.
It's like the rats. You know, the rats have a fan club, but I think it's quite a possibly a small fan club. So I mean, this feels that discrimination against snakes and rats, but I mean, I could make it happen. You know, I could see a python. You could do a lot with a python. So,
sorry guys. Sounds like a no. Personally, I'm not gonna yuck somebody's yum, but ooh. If you know what, I'm having the same response as all the wild women whenever that one person in the forum is like, oh yeah, snakes, and they're like, no ma'am. No ma'am. Sounds wrong. Sounds but I love that you're like, they exist. What else do you want from me?
they exist. They do their own thing. You know, they're yeah. They're not getting into anyone else's business. So at this point in time, so we just leave them be. You know,
I'm just gonna say I'm a fan of that answer. Just gonna throw that out there. If it came down to rats or snakes, I would choose the rat. You know, oh God, not the pool. So funny. Okay, well, I'm going to right now, before we play a game, I think we've gotten to a lot of questions people have had, so thank you for humoring us, but I am going to channel my best Allie Hazelwood and ask, can you give us any hints about what comes after or what you're working on?
Okay, let's say it's very difficult because it's like a spoiler for everything. I just saw the results of the poll just came.
Imagine I am Ashwini right now.
It's what can I say? So it's kind of a flow on from the sea change at the end of the book.
Okay.
It is going to have a human involved.
Ooh, Esther, your time, rise up.
Your time has come. And we are shifting locations, but not in the way that it's going to be very cool. It's going to be very cool. It is going to be another link in the chain that we've been building over the past books. Yeah.
You know, you started off really juicy, so I'll let you ride off into the sunset with that. You know, then you got really vague. But we are here for continuing the sea change. It will all make sense to everybody who has not read the book yet when you finally do. Continuing the sea change, I'm like, okay. And the fact that there's a human involved, I'm like, oh, I see. Je comprends. Very exciting. So that is fantastic. Poll says that we are nay at 67% for the
Justice for snakes. Justice for snakes.
Yeah. Okay, so I feel like we have arrived at Lily and Malachi, snake haters. Sarah, so sorry, but yes, I have to say a snake hater at this point. So I think we've arrived at the point in time where we are going to play a game.
Okay.
I'm excited for this. I feel like you're excited for this.
Oh, so excited. I'm good at my loins, Destinee.
Okay, well, let me make sure I have the audience window up. The first thing we're going to do is going to be very easy, I think. So let me share. Oh, can I do it still? Ah, here we are. Share. Okay.
Graciana's still laughing about Finn's dating profile. That's someone else I have to go back to. I can't leave Finn
Honestly,
hanging.
we can't leave Finn alone. He is too sweet. Please. Okay, so we're first gonna do some Atonement Sky superlatives.
Okay.
Starting you off easy, okay? Best cameo. that isn't spoilery. So see, I had you there, library addict, but yes, best cameo.
Best cameo is Dorian.
I love a good Dorian cameo. Yeah. Anytime they're like blonde hair, surfer good looks, I'm like, I know who's coming. I know who's coming down. I know who it is. I love it. Okay, most likely to speed through the canyon, Falcon.
Oh, most likely speed through the canyon, Jacques.
100%. 100. 100.
110.
150. I agree. I hadn't even thought
He's
of
the bad influence friend. You know, the bad influence best friend.
100% agree with that. Okay. Most likely to fly across the world for a concert.
Oh, that's very specific.
What am I thinking when I come up with these things? No idea.
I think Adam's niece. She's a teenager.
Oh, so true.
That's true. A teenager would do something like that.
She totally would. She'd be like, I'm just gonna go for the night. And it's like, girl, that's across the world. I totally agree with that. Okay, best smile.
Oh, best smile. I mean, it's Adam, right? When he finally smiles. When he finally smiles.
He's such a grouch at first.
He is.
But we understand why. Okay, biggest flirt.
Biggest flirt. Well, I'm trying to think through the male and the
I know who it is.
You know?
I know who it is. It's Dahlia.
You think?
I think she's a flirt.
You think? Okay, I'll give you guys. We'll just leave that out there for you guys. So after you read the book, you have to message me or Destinee or both of us on like Instagram and tell us if you agree.
Yeah, I think she is. I mean, the reasons why, dot. But I feel like if you just encountered her, you'd be like, oh, she's got the little pithy rejoinders,
Yes, that's true. She's very sort of, she's not shy. She's not shy at all.
Correct.
No.
Correct.
She's like, oh, you're hot. Would you like to,
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? I totally think, yeah. So maybe that's not everybody's idea of flirting, but I'm like, girl, are you flirting with everybody right now? Are you flirting with a certain person? Okay, I have two more. Most likely to be voted sexiest Windhaven clan member.
Sexiest Windhaven clan member. I feel like Jacques would get that just because he's got that sort of broody, dark thing going on. Like can't quite know what's going on with him.
Yes.
So, whereas Adam is more sort of in front, and he's honestly he's their wing leader, so they just wouldn't play those games with him, kind of thing. Whereas,
So true. He wears his authority well, I would say. He wears his authority well. Jacques is like, he has that je ne sais quoi. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he's like, he's super hot, first of all, but he's also got a little bit like, don't quite know this guy, what's going on, Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And the last one that I have right here is, oh wow, I had so many of them. So let me decide. I think I will go with most likely to go on a spur of the moment road trip with someone from a different clan or pack.
Oh, spur of the moment road trip. Let me think. That's a hard one. See, they're all very.
I know.
Well, I mean, they fly. So
exactly.
Is this a winged road trip, like a sky road trip?
Maybe it's with one of the pompous eagles.
They're totally pompous. They will go better, when they're hot. It's a falcon forever.
I don't know. I feel like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, you answer this question. This is a really hard question.
You tell us. Okay, I feel like Oh my gosh. Maybe Adam's sister might be, she seems like somebody to me who could like follows this certain way of being, but then will randomly surprise you and be like, yeah, why not?
She's also she's very, very smart. And I feel like
Yes.
smart people have these things where they're just like, I need to blow off steam. I'm just gonna go
Yes.
do this thing. So yes.
Yes.
And
Yes.
she has like, I love her name. It's beautiful. I'm pretty sure I looked up the pronunciation, but I don't want to say it in public because what if I get it wrong?
I know. You know what? It's better safer than sorry. Yes. Yes. Okay, the last thing we're gonna do, because that was just a warm-up.
Oh my God. I
And
thought that was
yeah, that was the warm-up. That was the easy thing. Okay, so let me make sure. Oh yeah, time to play the Trinity games. And everyone
everyone join in. Help me.
you can totally join in the chat. So basically, I'm going to put up on the screen. Oh, 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 there we go. All the people from your face from the past books. Okay. And for each of these situations, you have to pick a couple.
Oh.
I know. And then once they're gone, they're gone. So, all right, guys, let's do it. Okay. First one is easy. You have to, and it can't obviously, well, I didn't put the last couple on there because they're people who, they're joining. All right. So you have to hunt down the killer in this book.
Oh, you have to hunt
so
down the killer.
Which pair, and you don't get them back, so you don't know what the other situations are.
Even and Soleil.
Okay.
Ivan, yeah.
Oh, what? Oh, interesting. I would never. Well, that's really dramatic, but I wouldn't have said them. Interesting. Could you tell us more about why you picked them?
Well, it's mostly because of Ivan, because he is security specialist, right?
Yes.
So
fair.
yes. So I felt like when I was looking at like the skills necessary, felt like he would, he's a hunter as well.
Okay.
So yeah, let's go with those two.
Yeah. All right. I love how the chat is like literally everything, everything else. Okay. Next situation is you have to complete The Amazing Race. You know that TV show?
Yeah. Okay. So like you have to get around the world, right? Okay.
Uh-huh.
I think we have to go with, let me see. Owen
and Kaya. Somehow that feels chaotic. Also, Kaya got herself taken out on a boat. We can't trust Kaya. We can't trust Kaya. No.
Okay, Valentin and Silva. I'm going with Valentin and Silva because Silva has the strategy down. She would have everything down to the wire, planned, plotted. And Valentin is really, really strong. So he could just, if for example, if Silva kind of ran out of energy, he'd just be like, no worries. He'd just put her on his back and just run. And they would just win the race by sheer combined brawn and brain. It's like the perfect
rationale. Okay, all right. You are gonna be on a team version of the Great British Bake Off. Token bake. I don't know. Kelly put Kanto.
I think Kelly is right. Kanto can cook.
Okay, that's true. That's what I said. A Great British Bake Off.
So we're gonna be like, one is can cook and the other one cannot cook at all. So oh, Kaya. Oh yeah, that's a good point. She's a chef. She's a full-on chef.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yes,
I love how Francis is like, Kaya is a chef, y'all. Like, let's.
Yeah, I think you're right. Kaya and Bowen, because Bowen can cook slightly as well, because he's not. Yeah, that'd be a more together. They would have more baking power than the others. Yeah.
Okay, cool. You are going on one of the first commercial flights to space. Who are you going with?
Okay. I think I have to pick.
Lindsay says, must I go?
I have to pick Kanto and Pyle. I have to pick Kanto and Pyle because you cannot take a changeling up in there. They just lose their mind. So it's just, yeah, it has to be like Psy. Yeah.
Honestly, don't know why, but that is absolutely cracking me up. Okay, so you have to manage a daycare at one of the changeling packs for a week. Who are you doing with?
Pavel and Owen.
That was so that you know what?
It's immediate because, yeah. Just,
All right, I
yeah.
think that's very smart. I think we'll do two more for the sake of time. Now I get to choose.
Well, he's a bad babysitter, but that's because the kids are gonna have like a great time with him. So that's
You know
fine.
what? Great point, Library Addict, because an entire week of Arwen's style of babysitting is gonna be chaos. Like, who's in charge of cleanup? That's such a good point because I just thought about when he had Naya and she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm getting some chocolate today." Like, you bring up good points. Okay, so
Cleaning is not in their contract. No, cleaning is not in their contract. Just babysitting, right?
That is true. Someone's like that. Sarah's like, well, Pavel's a dominant changeling, so he could get him in line. And I'm like, all right, we'll see.
He's also a bear.
Oh, chaos. Wait a minute. Wait, revise. That is chaos. But you know what? Fine. It is fine. It is fine. Okay, so the second to last one is, when you see people like on the side of the street like soliciting like Greenpeace or whatever those things. All right, you would have to be, or sorry, Larry and Adam would have to pick from this list to solicit for their favorite charity on the street.
Oh my god, most of these people would shoot everybody or like strangle them. Who's the
Memory might no, never mind.
Well, actually, no. I think Alexi and Memory could do it because Memory would be like, "No, stop growling. I agreed to do this for my friends." So
that's true. She has him whipped.
Yes, he is mad for her, and also she is an empath, so she does have a soft heart. She's gonna if there's a cause that gets her heart, I can see her being like, "No, we're gonna support this, and you're coming along because it's important to me." Yeah, not Selinka. No, she would just she would. Yeah,
Selinka
she would not be very good.
Actually, I don't know which of these things I would pick her for because
if you need to fight your way out of something, I would pick Selinka because she would be like, "Okay, right, let's do it."
Boxing match. Okay, the last one I would do, and I have just quickly changed it because I'm just curious. If any of the remaining characters could join you and Ashwini on your very, very informative walks.
So who's left? Who haven't we used? We haven't used Ethan and Selinka.
Okay, so we haven't used
Yakov and Theo, Remy and Auden.
And
no. I think we've used everyone else, I think.
5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Who's keeping track?
I'm like, I was keeping track, but wait a minute, was I keeping track? I think, okay, so for one, we had Ivan and Soleil, which was you have to hunt down a killer. For the Amazing Race, we had Valentin and Silver. The Great British Bake Off, we have Kaya and Bowen. Commercial Flight to Space, we have Kanto and Payal. Manage a Daycare against all of our better judgment, we have Pavel and Arwen. And to solicit for your charity on the street, we have Alexi and Memory.
Okay, right.
So that's correct. Yes. So who are we taking on our very informative walks, Nalini?
I think Remy and Auden, because, well, honestly, Remy would just kind of have to follow in the back because the women would be having this conversation. Quite honestly.
Okay. So Auden over Selinka for sure. Poor Selinka, she's not. No.
He does not have the patience for my nonsense. Okay.
We'll have to find a job for her.
And but I feel like Theo is a little bit quieter, and you need
Yes.
someone who's a little bit more confrontational to, because this discussion is like, what are you talking about? That's
Yes.
that's not gonna work, you know?
You have to stand up for an opinion.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I see it. Well, guys, thank you so much for playing along. And I hope you had a fantastic time. I hope that you are prepped and ready. Oops, there we go. To read Atonement Sky. And you have your reading homework, which we said was Branded by Fire, Bonds of Justice, and Ocean Light. And in the meantime, we will see you online somewhere. Until the next time, Nalini, thank you so much. And happy pub day, since you are already in the future and it's pub day.
No, thank you so much for this, Destinee. This was really fun. I mean, as always, I never know what your games will be and what we'll end up talking about. So it was really fun. And the audience was great. I love how you all interacted, and you helped me out with some of those questions that were really curly. So thank you. Thank you for saving me from Destinee's games. No, it was really, really
Top-tier
fun.
audience.
Yeah.
Top-tier audience. You guys are amazing.
Really yeah. And I hope you all enjoy the book. I fall in love with these two, cry, and go on this journey together with them. Yeah.
No to snakes. We love all of you.
Somebody needs to have a Justice for Snakes t-shirt made for the next thing.
Justice for snakes. Oh. Hey guys.